Dun, 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 dun. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to another magical reading, another weekly wisdom call. As I take these cards out of their case, you can see the people walking behind me on the Brooklyn Promenade. It's quite a view we have out there. Look at that. That's the view out of my living room. Manhattan skyline over there. It's a beautiful place to do my work and share with you the real meaning of these. This deck of 52 that's actually an ancient book of wisdom. And as you probably know by now, 52 cards, 52 weeks. Each card represents a week. So knowing the card of the week gives us an opportunity to tune into the energy field that's all around us, what we might call the quantum field that we are all incarnated into. So it gives us a way to understand the energy currents, the waves, the motions of life, the deepest patterns, the archetypal patterns. And by archetypal, I mean recurring and repeating endlessly, so that we are always experiencing these patterns one way or another. And it's good to know what they are so we can have more clarity and we can operate more in harmony with what is. That harmonious relationship with what is alternatively referred to as nirvana or heaven. That's what those terms refer to, being in harmony with what is. And this tool shows us, to the best of any tool I've ever found, exactly what are the energy frequencies and the energy patterns so that we can be in harmony with what is, so that we can experience this miraculous serendipitous attunement. And David, thanks for your message. I'm doing really well. We're just off of a week's trip in North Carolina with my kids for spring break. I got to see some old friends, high school friends from nutrition school. What up? And we went to Asheville, which I love Asheville, North Carolina. Got to do some hiking in the woods and fun things like that. So it was great. Now back to New York. Spring is in effect. And let's talk cards. So card of the week. Drum roll, please. The card of the week is the Five of Clubs. Clubs is the mind, and the 5 is represented as an X. X marks the spot, the treasure of our mind. Arr, me hearties, in search of ye treasure. Searching for that gem of knowledge, and perhaps restlessly spinning your wheels, grinding your mind, searching for something that you want to hold on to, and or spinning the mind in paranoia, fear, with all the hypotheticals that your mind might conceive. Insomnia, can't sleep, mind is going, can't sleep, mind is going, can't sleep, mind is going, analysis paralysis, overanalyzing, spinning around like you're inside of a revolving door inside your mind. Basic lay of the land this week, right? It's a mental week. And my suggestion for you, my invitation for you, is to be willing to change your mind. Like the sliding glass doors of life shift you this way when you thought you were going to go that way, and you go this way instead. And go with that shift. Right? You're like, I'm going this way, I'm going this way. Oh, no, you're not. You're going this way. Right? Or some obstacle comes in your path where you have certain assumptions and expectations in your mind of what you think it should be. Something presents itself. Oh, I'm going to have to go a different direction. I'm going to have to adapt and be not so attached to my egoic assumptions and expectations. So it's a week of adaptation. It's a week of changing course. Oh, I thought I was going to go there. I thought I was going to do that. I had all these mental plans, and they might not go as you planned them to go. And how do you adapt? How do you redirect? How do you improvise? And in that improvisation, in that adaptation, in that redirection of your mental current, that's where you can settle into and find what it is that you're really looking for. It comes as you settle into the shift, which is kind of a paradox for the mind, because the mind wants an answer or an explanation or a rationalization or a logical defense of why it should shift, and when it can't find one, it resists. And you might not find one this week. You might not find a mental approximation of why your mental approximations are false. That sounds like a bumper sticker, right? Your mental approximation of why your mental approximations are false. Right? All of our mental approximations are just that. Right? They're not reality. Right? What you think of your reality is not your reality. It's like that famous Magritte painting, "This is not a pipe." Right? Picture of a pipe on a T-shirt, or no, it's not on a T-shirt. It's on a canvas, and he says that he was famously ridiculed by people because it is a pipe. And underneath he wrote in French, "This is not a pipe." And his response was, can you smoke my pipe? Right? He's like, people always criticize me, like, but it's a pipe. And he would say in response, "Yes, but can you smoke my pipe?" And of course the answer is no, because it's just a mental approximation of a pipe. It's a mental representation. And what's happening for us this week is that our mental approximations, our mental maps, shift, because we realize that what we thought doesn't come to pass the way we thought it would be. And so it's a non-attachment. It's a willingness to change course. Hi, Donna. And that can be really frightening for us, right? We don't like it when our mental maps are false or wrong or inaccurate, and we get really defensive and argumentative. And that can happen in relationships too, of course. Someone has a different perspective. Someone thinks differently or sees differently than our way of seeing, and that can be a clash. So be on the lookout for that this week, a clash of different perspectives, different ways of thinking, and being willing to change the way that you think. Being able to and willing to adapt your mental map. Another way of saying all of this is, how strong is your ego? And that's kind of a paradox too, because I would suggest to you that the more resilient and well-developed your ego is, the easier it is for you to adapt and change. What? Yes. It's actually when there's an insecure ego, when there is not a very well-developed sense of who we are, that we feel more threatened by any challenges to our egoic conception of who we are. Right? And that's going to happen this week. You're going to have to change who you think you are. That's what an ego is. Our ego is who we think we are. That's it. I think I am Alexander, let's say. Or I think I am a man. Or I think I am a human being. Whatever I think that I am, that's ego. Hi, Nicole. And who we really are is much deeper than or beyond what we can think we are. Thinking is only a very small part of our capacity as human beings. It's an important part. I'm using my mind right now to talk to you, to communicate, to put words together, to fire the neurons, to construct and articulate this teaching. And as the famous proverb goes, this teaching is only a finger pointing away at the moon. It's not the moon itself. I'm doing my best to point you to something, to help you see something, using my mind, using my words, to help you see something. And that's what we're talking about this week, to see past our mental conceptions, to see past our assumptions, and being willing to disassemble our expectations, our egoic assumptions, and put them back together in a new order. So with resilience, a shifting of our mindset, a changing of our assumptions, a redirecting of our narrative, a shift of our perspective. So I encourage you to welcome that this week. Welcome it if an obstacle comes in your path and you're, in a sense, forced to change directions. Welcome it if someone has a different perspective that challenges your conception, gives you an opportunity to think differently. Welcome that shift. See how you can embrace something that deconstructs your mental conceptions. See what that does for you. Instead of resisting or fighting against something that wants to redirect your thinking, redirect your plans, see if you can welcome it and realize that everything is happening for your highest and greatest good. And maybe it's a good thing that your plans are going to need to change. Maybe it's a good thing that that person didn't show up on time and now you're doing something different instead. Maybe it's a good thing that that didn't work out and so instead you're going to go and do this other thing. See if you can look at it that way, because that's indeed what's happening this week. It's a shifting of your mindset. And welcome that, because what that means is that's a shifting of your egoic architecture. It's a shifting of who you think you are. And in that ability to shift easily and gracefully, then you're, by default, let's say, or automatically, you're tapping into, let's call it, your higher self. Because who are you that is shifting your ego? Who are you that is changing your mindset? Who are you that is strong enough to adapt your mental conceptions? Right? And recognizing that who you are is not who you think you are. In other words, who you are is not your thoughts. Who you are is not your mind. Who you are is not your plans, or your assumptions, or your expectations. Who are you that gets to change your plans? Who are you that changes your mind? Right? Tapping into that within yourself and then shifting your frame of reference, shifting your thought conception, shifting your mindset, because you're strong enough to do that. Right? You're big enough. You're bigger than your thoughts. Your thoughts don't control you or rule you. You have the power to change your thoughts, to change your mind. And that is how you find the treasure that you're seeking. Enjoy, everyone. Remember, it's a game. Enjoy the game of your life. As always, I encourage you to live your life like it's your favorite game to play.